Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Spill the Tea Lou. I hope everybody is good. It's like I hit the go live button and then remember my phone is not on silent. It's like a reminder when StreamYard tells me you are now live. I'm like, oh shit, the phone. But it's okay. It's okay. We got it. It's on silent. Hello, people. I hope you're all very, very good. I hope you've had a nice day. I hope you've had a lovely time since we spoke on the afternoon show. Of course, we do have a very big, important match, which is coming up this evening between Arsenal and Atletico Madrid, and the lineups are out. So let us start with the lineups, and then we will go through the whole thing. But obviously, what everybody wants to talk about when these things happen are the lineups. But before we even get to the lineups, even more importantly than the lineups, let me say hello to all of you beautiful teacups. I see Tom can't stay with us this evening, but is going to catch us after the game at 10 o'clock. That is no problem at all, Tom. You enjoy the football and we will catch you later. Thank you for popping in to drop your like. Palace Red Devil is in the house with us. Rob Always United is, of course, Rob Always in the chat. And then we have JT in the house who needs to cleanse his palate after a run-in, a little debate on Footy Judge Mo's channel, not with Footy Judge Mo, but with some of the esteemed guests. And JT is reminding everybody to please do hit the like button. And of course, we are joined this evening by the very lovely Lucky, who is in the house with us. And Lucky is saying, Rasmus Højlund is happy in Italy. He's loving life and the support around him. The environment is better. The environment is better. And you know what? Who could argue with that? Damien is in the house. Damien is here. Welcome to Damien. JT, yes, I have seen some of that stuff. Because, of course, earlier we were talking managers, and then there was this news somewhat that Xavi Hernandez side were insisting Chelsea had made a formative approach and that he is open to the move to England. However, Chelsea are not expected to proceed. Xabi Alonso, Marco Silva and Antonio Areola are all under serious consideration, and Xavi for now has been ruled out by Chelsea. I did see that report earlier on. Very, very interesting. I am sure, as with all of these stories, we see it on the first day, and then by the second and third day, it just completely evolves. So I'm sure there will be more out and about by tomorrow's 12 o'clock show for that one. I would say there could be all sorts happening between now and then, because the PR camps will now go to war. Oh, no, we didn't want him. We want the other people. And, oh, they did want me, but I said no. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. JT says, would you dismiss Xavi over Areola and Marco Silva? It seems a little wild to me. Over Areola, possibly. And I think doing it in the Premier League, I'm not always a fan of that, because everybody has to start somewhere. You can't have 5 years experience in your first job. So I don't necessarily think it should always discount you. However, I do think it can give you an edge in a situation like Chelsea, where they keep getting it wrong. At the very least, Areola specifically is a safe pair of hands. So that just might be what they're thinking. He just seems safer. However, tonight is not about Chelsea. Maybe tomorrow's afternoon show. I've loads of stuff actually for tomorrow I want to talk about. There's so much stuff every day. There's so much tea. I love it. I love all the tea. But tonight is not about Chelsea. Tonight is about you, JT. JT doesn't want to talk about his own team. Have we ever seen JT not want to talk about Arsenal? There he is. Thierry JT. Thierry. So we will talk about that tomorrow. And yes, David has said, shout out to JT. Is he confident for the match? Well, that's what we all want to know, really. Guess has made it for the stream, which is always wonderful news. I thought you might be napping. So that's always good news, and Guess makes it for the live show. But guys, let us start with the lineup. Let us have a look at the lineup, and then we will delve further into it. Mohammed is in the house. And is rooting for Atleti. And yes, guess, have people hit the like button? Because thank God you guys remember to remind people, because I just literally never do. I just never remember. Thank God for you guys. But lineup. I get so easily distracted. I'm so easily distracted. I'm like a magpie. You're just distracted by shiny things. So these are the lineups, guys, for both teams. Let me zoom it a little bit more. You'll be able to... Oh, is that a lot of zoom? No, that should be okay. We should be able to see that with our great eyesight. So for Arsenal, and I made some notes before the lineups came out. So before the lineups came out, I wrote down, will it be Gyökeres or Havertz? Will Odegaard start? Those are my questions. I have other things I've written down that we're going to talk about in this show. I was very organised. I wrote down things for this show because I didn't want to just spend the whole show waffling, because sometimes that can happen in a preview. I can just end up going away off. So I wanted to just write down some things, but specifically about the lineups before they came out, I wrote down, will it be Gyökeres or Havertz? Will Odegaard start? The answer to those two questions obviously is different because one of them is not a yes/no question. Gyökeres has started. Odegaard has not. Neither has Zubimendi. I didn't write that as part of my questions, but clearly it's a talking point. So let us read the full lineup. So obviously it's going to be Raya in goal. Then you've got Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Lewis Skelly, Rice, Trossard, Eze, Saka, and Victor Gyökeres up front. So a lot of people, I see this in the chat. I see that in the chat. JT is saying the big one is Skelly over Zubimendi. And Palace is saying Skelly, great pick. And Damien is saying no Zubimendi. Was that good? Was that a good impression of the emoji? Strike a pose. But yeah, so we will get stuck into that. I'm just going to read out the Atleti team as well, just so we're being nice to the opposition. So Oblak, obviously in goal, who did play a big part in the first match. He did make a few saves in the first match. That link up of Ruggeri and Lookman are together again. That's something we're going to look at. It was very, very fruitful in the first leg, so we're going to talk about that. But Ruggeri, Hanko, Normand, Pubel, Simeone, Lorente, Koke, Lookman, Alvarez, and of course Antoine Griezmann. Those are the two lineups. Let me scroll just ever so slightly. I want to go down a little bit and just have a little look at the bench. Obviously, we've got Kepa, there's Mascara, Odegaard is on the bench. I wasn't sure. Zubimendi is on the bench. Kai Havertz is on the bench. So none of the people we're talking about are out through injury because they're all there on the bench. The only people out injured, listed as officially injured, are Timber and Marino. So just wanted to clear that up because I hadn't looked at it. I'd looked at the starting lineup. I hadn't actually looked at the bench. So JT says, regardless of if it's right or wrong, I'm surprised Arteta didn't do the stubborn thing and actually changed his mind on Skelly and didn't go wrong and strong. And I have to say, I have spoken a number of times to you guys this season about Mikel Arteta, about his approach to games against City, about how I feel like he always feels like he's the student when he's playing a match against Pep Guardiola. And then in the last match that they played against each other, that match that was City and Arsenal, while obviously they didn't get the result they wanted out of that match, I very much felt like Mikel Arteta was brave. I very much felt like it was two managers equally meeting. I didn't feel like it was student teacher, and it did mark a significant change for me for Arteta. He's not obviously somebody I pay as much attention to as I do, say, the various managers that we have had at Manchester United, but I did feel like it was a departure from how he normally approaches those types of games. And I just wonder, 7 years in, nearly, panicking and nearly fumbling or bottling or whatever word you want to use, did it just make, when he was really backed against the wall, when maybe he could have lost his job if he had dropped it this season, when it came right down to it, he did get brave. He did come out swinging. He set up to attack. It was a very good game for Arsenal against Manchester City. And I wonder if that has followed through, JT, into this. Maybe he has realised, you know what, I'm just going to have to suck it up. I'm going to have to admit when I was wrong. I'm going to have to change my approach. I'm going to have to do something different. So sometimes, people, they cope and they cope and they cope and they eke it out and they try. And then when it really, really, really comes down to it and it's absolutely like kill or be killed, they surprise you. And And I mean literally in the last few games, I have felt like that about Arteta. And I do mean genuinely the last few games. So I just wonder, based on what you said there, he didn't do the stubborn thing. He actually changed his mind on Skelly and he stopped being wrong and strong. And it's a sign. It's a sign and it's important. It's an important sign. And I agree, JT, even if you don't win the match, because obviously he didn't win the match against City, but I thought the performance, the belief, the attitude, the way it was approached was important. I do think that matters. And I would probably have a similar opinion on this. So yeah, I can understand that. 100% I can understand that. Paige is here. She's saying hello. She will be in the background. Oh, you're doing chores. I hate doing chores. That's what I do though. When I'm doing my chores around the house, I always pop on a stream in the background and I listen in. So a lot of the time I'm not typing in the chat, or I'll say hello and then I'll bugger off and I'm doing like my dishwasher and other exciting household chores and I listen in. So don't you worry, Paige. Don't you worry. And Paige has also said, make sure, oh, I love it. Paige, that's a great new profiler. I love the new profiler, Paige. It's lovely. Lovely. I love it, Paige. Very good. And yes, make sure to like and subscribe, please, folks. Correct and right. Mohammed, YouTube is picking on you something serious at the minute. YouTube, you need to have a word with YouTube and ask them what their problem is with your comments, because that's the second time, like in the last few days, that's happened to you, isn't it? And didn't it happen? Was it Tom it happened to as well? YouTube just doing YouTube things. Let me see. Damien says maybe City's draw gave Arteta some boldness. Well, the thing is, he changed something and it worked. So maybe it's given him the impetus of, do you know what? You have to be brave. You got to give some to get some. Yeah. What is it? What's that other phrase? There's loads of them phrases, basically. You have to, go big or go home. So he's going big and I like it. I think it's good. JT says the question is if it was a one-off for Skelly and the team in general. The worrying thing is if we lose today, if the team and him don't revert back to factory settings then. I'll be honest, yous were very good. Like, yous were very good against Fulham. Yous were great value for your win. Yous deserved all three of the goals. Yous were by far and away the better team. Fulham were dreadful, but yous were also very good. It's not necessarily you won because they were bad. They were bad, but also you were good. Flossie is here. Mama Flossie is here. She's late because she was playing a game. Do you know what, Flossie? I'm actually quite bad. I love a game. I love a game now. I like gaming, as in like I have a PlayStation. I love a bit of Call of Duty. But also I love, them wee mobile phone games? Them ones were the hidden object games for your phone. I love a few of them, Flossie. I love a few of them. I feel like they might be your cup of tea. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misjudging Flossie. But yeah, that's the way. I like them. I can appreciate that. I can understand it. But guys, let me take a sup of my coffee. It is coffee, but I've already had 2 teas. If I have any more teas, I'm going to turn into a tea bag. I have to stop. Mohammed, you're a gamer as well. Shout it. Is that what you were playing, Flossie? Ha. They're good ones. I enjoy them very much. I really do enjoy them. They're good. And Mohammed says he's a gamer also. Now, like that, I like gaming. I'm a PS5 person. My other half, he is a computer gamer. And apparently I'm like a pauper in our house because I'm not a computer gamer. Let me take a swig of this and then we'll talk a bit more about the football. Yeah, JT. I said it before, I think we are better being backs against the wall, forced to play. If we're at the top, we tend to try and defend the position, not attack and kill it off. But I very much feel like that does come from Arteta. You're playing June's Journey, Flossie. I'm playing June's Journey. Yes, June's Journey, and she's doing the crossover with Proro at the minute. Flossie. That's crazy. I've been playing that for the last few days. June's Journey is my current favourite. June's Journey and Agatha Christie at the moment. Oh, I'm having a great time. Look at us go. We're so in sync. And Palace is saying Palace is a gamer as well. So there's a few of us. Damien's PS5 gamer as well. Guys, never mind the football. We all love a good game. We are one. We are one person, this cult. Yeah, that's the one. Shout out, Mama Flossie. We cool. We so cool. I'm in the cat group. Flossie, I wonder if you're in my team. I'm in a cat team. You're a Steam Deck gamer, JT. Aren't you fancy? A Steam Deck. Look at you go. Mohammed is into Football Manager. Your Xbox and sometimes the laptop. That's fair. Yes, guess. June should sponsor my show going forward. June, my friend June. Flossie's friend June. But anyway, back to the other game, the football game that we're going to be talking about. So there was a few things I wanted to bring in, and then we'll just have a general conversation towards the end, okay? So when I was looking at going into this match, there was a lot of things going on. Something that came out from the last match, and it was put out there, but then it hasn't really been spoken about that I have seen too much since. And maybe it has been and I just haven't seen it, but I haven't really seen this anywhere. I'm going to read it for you guys. I just want my screen in that I can still see you at the same time. So, according to, and this was in both the Mirror and ESPN, and it wasn't ESPN Brazil, it was just normal ESPN, so that might make it a little bit more reliable. But UEFA are set to investigate Declan Rice over his post-match comments following Arsenal's 1-1 draw versus Atletico, with potential sanctions on the table. So what he said in his comments were, and I quote, UEFA is totally different from the Premier League. In both areas, you have to be really careful because they whistle absolutely everything. In the Premier League, they wouldn't give that. Ebbs's is a clear penalty. I don't know how they didn't give it. I think the Atletico fans influenced the decision and made the referee change his mind. Now, I saw those quotes after the match and I thought, given some of the things we've seen punished by the FA and in the Premier League, I did think he was taking a bit of a risk saying that kind of a thing. Obviously, it's the heat of the moment. He's probably not thinking about it. But given some of the other things we've seen punished, I wasn't surprised when it was then reported that he might face sanctions for that. There hasn't been anything since that I've seen. That was reported in both the Mirror and ESPN. And the thing is, like JT here is saying, I think he gets a ban. Your problem is, if you get through this and then he gets a ban for the final, how stupid is that? How stupid is that? Because harsh, not harsh, whatever you want to think about it, he knew the risk he was taking when he was saying that, because we have seen multiple other players this season. Okay, it's not the same organisation. It's not the same governing body. It's the same bloody sport, though. They all talk to each other. You know the risk you're taking when you say that out loud at all, do you know? And I agree. He might get a ban for this because, I mean, he basically said the referee changed his mind because he was influenced by the other team. Like, I mean, it's not a good look. We don't know. As soon as there's any update on that, I will bring it in. But imagine he goes and gets himself a match ban and it's the final. Imagine he gets himself banned from the final for saying that. I think what might end up happening is players might start saying, I don't want to talk to people after the match because every time I do, I get myself banned for saying something about the referees. Shout out to Stratford Post. I've seen the lovely Irish Pit Terrier has joined us, but shout out to Sal here at the Stratford Post. Massive shout out to Lou in the community. Keep liking, keep subscribing to this great channel. Thank you very much, my dear. JT says, I don't think it's crazy comments. It's like galaxies away from what Rodri said, but as you said, it's a different organisation. I don't think it's way out there. And some of the things we've heard this season, it's certainly not even nearly the worst of what we've seen this season. I would agree with that, JT. And I don't think it's as close as what Rodri said. Definitely not. But as we know in general, the refereeing bodies tend to be stricter in Europe with on-field decisions. So I suppose in my mind, if they're stricter with on-field decisions, they're more likely to be stricter with off-field things like comments like this. That might be wrong, but that's the correlation in my brain. If they're stricter about one thing, they're probably stricter across the board. We don't know. It might not happen. It was an interesting point that I just wanted to bring in because obviously it was a result of the last match and I don't want to mix it into today's kind of analysis. Not that I would call what I do analysis, but you understand what I mean. And yes, obviously it will impact if they get through. It could impact them in the final. So it was something that I thought was worth mentioning because it might come in going forward. And yes, correct and right. Stratford Post is saying, get them likes up. Correct and right, 100%. Rice already got a ban in the Conference League for commenting on the refs for West Ham. Well, do you see that? I didn't know that. That's tick then. That's absolutely tick. So he's come, right? He's come out. Let's look at it again. After the first leg, Evs is a clear penalty. I don't know how they didn't give it. I think the Atletico fans influenced the decision and made the referee change his mind. I know this is right because I heard him say it. So I don't have to rely on Transfer News Live. But this is exactly what he said. If he has already had a ban from a European body for making comments about the referee, this is a stupid thing to do. That's a stupid thing to do because, as you say, JT, repeat offender. That's not going to get him any favours, is he? So look, that's to deal with because they have to win the match for it would even matter, because if they don't get through to the final, won't matter until next season, at which point everyone will forget. However, it's a silly thing to do because if you win and I would put you favourites, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Another problem that I'm finding at the moment, and it's really actually causing me a little bit of, what's the right word? It's a bit of a struggle. I'm finding that I quite like Vincent Kompany. And it's disgraceful, really, actually. It's sending me a little bit nuts. I'm not impressed with it. But he speaks quite well. He's very composed. He's doing a good job. He's gone off to ply his trade. He picked himself back up after the whole Burnley situation. But I'm liking his... It's very irritating because he's quite likeable. Now, obviously, again, with the maybe assumption that if Arsenal go through to the final, there's a good chance they might be playing Bayern Munich. Kompany was asked, so Arteta was given out about the number of minutes that Arsenal are having to play, that there's no rest, etc., etc. And so obviously, as the media like to do, they were trying to stir a little bit of trouble, basically, as they do with their big old wooden spoons. And so Vincent Kompany was asked in his pre-match press conference, what did he think about Mikel Arteta's statement that Bayern... So I'll read this out. So this is from Imea Sanmia, and their account is called Bayern and Germany, okay? So it's a pretty big account. It's got 476,500 followers. So it's a pretty big account, just a small bit. And this is what they've said. Kompany on Mikel Arteta's statement that Bayern and PSG get to rest their players due to the quality of their leagues compared to the Premier League. And I quote, he said, I don't want to comment much on that. I played in the Premier League for many years. I don't think it was meant as a criticism of Bayern or PSG, but rather a discussion. In England, you have 38 league games, the League Cup, FA Cup, no winter break. It's not for me to discuss that, but it's legitimate. Jurgen Klopp spoke about that many times too. So I have to say, I thought he was very measured. I thought he responded very well. And it goes to show he has not forgotten where he's come from, because the first thing he said was, I was a player in the Premier League. Did you forget that? Because I didn't. I played these minutes that we're talking about. There's a lot of them. He basically agreed with him without outright saying I agree with him, because he sort of went around it. He was like, you have all these games, you have this, you have no break. And it wasn't just Mikel Arteta saying it. Jurgen Klopp, who is highly respected, has also said it. And I've played them minutes, so don't fight me. So I thought it was a very intelligent response. And I thought I enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it. And it's the second thing in a number of weeks I've seen from Vincent Kompany that I liked. It's disgraceful, carry on. If he could just be more of an ass, that would make me feel better. But Fabrizio Romano put this out at the end of April, and I noticed it at the time, and I've just not had the opportunity to bring it up. And then he said this evening, and I was like, right, let's talk about both of the things. So he was asked to do punditry for the World Cup, and he rejected the offers, and the quote was, absolutely no chance. Why would I do that in vacation time? Then I wouldn't have any family in Munich next season. No chance. So he just seems very much like a nice, measured, normal human person. It's actually, and you know what? He was quite a good defender too. It's really disgraceful, really disgraceful. I'm not happy. I'm not happy about the situation at all. He's very likable and it's not okay. If he could, he just needs to deal with that likableness because I'm not having any of it. I'm not enjoying it. But, and I am going to get to your comments, guys. I'm not ignoring you. I just want to, because this is all linked, I don't want to stop in the middle of it. I am going to read your comments now in a little second. I see United Mandem has joined us. So thank you for being here. But the reason that there's a whole big hullabaloo about these minutes anyway, this is why. So let me share this with you. This was shared by Sky Sports Premier League, okay? More coffee, people. Now, so obviously the angle on this is a little bit funny, but it's the way they have it. And obviously I can't play it because of Sky Sports footage. We're doing it like this. So this is why there's such a hullabaloo over the minutes being played. And there's another thing I'm going to show you in a minute. Arsenal have the top 5 players in terms of league minutes played this season out of all the Champions League semi-finalists. And this was before the first leg. So it's actually going to be even more now. So you see there, David Raya, 3,060 minutes. To be fair, he's a goalkeeper, so I'm not feeling too crazy about that one. Declan Rice, 2,851, which is a lot. And Martin Zubimendi, 2,835. And obviously they play in the midfield. It's quite an active role. It's quite a lot of minutes. Then you've got Timber, Gabriel, then obviously Zaire Emery, then Saliba, and then Luis Diaz. So that there is why there's so much complaint, because that's a lot of minutes, and it's a lot of minutes compared to rivals. So that's where it's coming from. Also, this probably didn't help the matter. Diego Simeone has once again benched his entire starting 11 ahead of the game against Arsenal. So in the last match that they played in their league, he benched the entire starting 11 so that they could rest coming into this, which does bring us back to what Arteta said. They get to rest their players due to the quality of their leagues, because let's be fair, Arsenal had absolutely no opportunity whatsoever to bench their starting 11. It wasn't an option. So I understand the point. I liked Vincent Kompany's answer. I thought it was a good answer. However, I also think Arsenal can win today. I genuinely believe they can win today. So look, some people might, and I'm sure they will say, making the excuses early, etc., etc. However, I do think it's a valid point. Now, I certainly don't want less football. I don't want less football. Just let us have bigger squads or something so we can keep playing all the games without it killing the players off. I don't want less football. But I understand the point. I can understand the point, and it's not because it's Arsenal, regardless of who the team was here. I agree with the point. We talked about it. We talked about it before when I said that Ligue 1 had agreed for PSG to move some of their games, rearrange some of their fixtures in order to facilitate them doing better in the European competition. So we've had this conversation already. So yeah, I think it's a fair point. I understand it, but I'm not really sure how you get around it, if I'm being totally honest, because I like that the Premier League is so good. I like that the Premier League games are hard. I like that we don't have one team at the top that runs the league. I want it to be competitive. I want Bournemouth to be climbing up the table. I want Brentford to be fighting for Europe. Do you know what I mean? I enjoy that. I want Nottingham Forest, that was nearly in relegation, taking points off the teams at the top. I love that. I think it's important. Everton, good old David Moyes, taking points off the great man. I think I like that. So I wouldn't want our league to be less competitive to facilitate this. And I don't want less football, which would obviously give us less minutes. So I don't have a solution to this, because I don't want less football and I don't want worse football. However, I understand the point. Is basically where I'm at with it. So let me read some of your comments. Guys, because I've been ignoring you while I ranted for a few minutes. JT says, shout out to company. Some coaches should take a hint from him. Don't take it personally, even though the journos were obviously fishing for drama. Yes, they were fishing for drama. And I love that. He was like, it's not about Bayern Munich or PSG. It's about the Premier League. Like, we're irrelevant in this scenario. We're just examples. So yeah, I did like that. He didn't want to discredit his team's possible achievements and their league, but we got what he was saying. We did, 100%. United Mandem says, big up Blue in the chat. We did say this in the post-match reaction show. What's given in one competition or league may not be given in another. That's why we need a total refereeing review. Agreed. Damien is saying misery, and in brackets the journalists love company with a K. So yeah, we like that. JT says, I liked the company era. City players seemed more humble back then. JT can't stand Bernardo Silva. I fully agree on that. He really just, I can't have him. I really can't have him. You're growing to hate Turkey as well. Turkey's so good. He's so good. He's really bloody good. That's irritating a lot. Palace, I hope they've not measured the length of the grass tonight. Yeah. Lucky is in the house talking about the lineup, saying Saka, Timber, and Havertz. Havertz is not starting tonight. Havertz is on the bench. Timber is on the bench as well. Who was the other one, Lucky? Saka is starting. Timber, I'm sure. No, sorry. Timber is out injured. He has a muscle injury, so he's not even on the bench. And then who was the other one? Havertz is on the bench. I had thought maybe Havertz would start this. I had thought maybe it would be better if Havertz started. Flossie with a little typo there. Let me see. What else have we got? Yes, JT, I think you've said that before. Maybe a slightly longer season and a slightly shorter summer so that you'd still get all the matches, but they're a little more spread out. That might end up being a thing. Flossie's gone. She's gone. Yes, Timber's out. Timber is injured. Timber is injured. Timber and Marino are listed as the two injuries. Now, guys, back to the lineup here. So obviously one of the big things is the fact that Lewis Skelly is starting over Zubimendi. That seems to have caught a lot of people off guard. A lot of people don't seem to have seen that coming. That seems to be surprising a lot of people. And as we spoke about kind of at some length, maybe it's a sign that Arteta is going to go brave. He's going to go for it, which I think is important and I think it's good. And I think Arsenal need to do better in this match than they did in the first match. I think they need to play better than they did in the first match if they're going to win this. Obviously, they're at home. The fans will be behind them, so they would hope that's going to help them. But what they really, really need to do is they need to have a solution to that Lookman Ruggeri thing. They really, really struggled with that in the first half. Tinger is injured. Yeah, basically. Yes, he is. I'm like those little pairs. Have a little dance. Yeah. But yes. Tinger is injured, so he won't be playing. But I think for me, the main thing Arsenal need to deal with this Lookman Ruggeri thing, because that gave them so much trouble in the first leg. Saka obviously was very good the other day. It feels like he's only played yesterday. Saka was obviously very, very good when he played the other day. Question marks over Ben White. What do we think of this thing with Ben White? Should Ben White be starting? Who would start instead of Ben White? JT, tell me. Yeah. His White start. Yeah. Who would start instead of him? You were hoping for Mosquera, who's on the bench. I have to say, Lookman Ruggeri gave you trouble in the first leg. Ben White is not what I would consider robust. He's not what I would consider fantastical. And that would make me nervous. So yeah, Palace Red Devil is saying Mosquera as well. So if that was an option, I would probably have had Mosquera on there because he couldn't have done worse. he couldn't have done worse. It'll be interesting to see what sort of tactics or tips or they've practiced on the training ground to deal with that a bit better. That whole side. That is what I'm going to be watching. That is what I'm going to be watching. And obviously, we will be watching Miles Lewis Skelly, who's on the other side. But that was just such a good matchup, that side of the pitch in the first leg. I think it could be decisive again in the second leg because Atleti aren't going to change something that worked for them. Why would they? But Arsenal need to change to be able to deal with it. Jamie in there is saying targeting Ben White might be key. Absolutely. If I'm Atleti, that's what I'm doing. 100%. Shout out to huge afternoon, lads. Afternoon. We have three of our Tea Titans are in the house now because Mohammed was here before. Of course, Rob is here. And there's huge. There's the 3 Tea Titans in the house. And JT is saying White did better against Fulham. He is getting up to speed a little bit, but more offensively than defensively. And that was, who were we talking about the other day? Your wee man O'Brien. Offensively was brilliant. Defensively was terrible. So I think you're going to need his defensive abilities in this match. I think that one, because you've got, it's Saka in front of him, who's obviously very good attacking. I don't know about defensively, though. And again, he's only just back from an injury. That side could be rough. So it's going to be essentially Saka and White against Lookman and Ruggeri. I mean, that's going to be a little bit rough, isn't it? That's going to be a little bit rough. JT says it imbalances the whole back line. If Simeone targets Ben White, he can create openings that the player will be instructed to target. And that's the thing, because what happens then is, let me bring this up on the screen so we're looking at it together. So, if, for example, Ben White is struggling and Saka maybe isn't getting back to help him properly, what happens is Declan Rice gets pulled over here to help Ben White, and then you end up with this big old space in here, and then you're just straight through to Gabriel and Saliba. That's, Saliba will be forced to have 2 pairs of eyes to cover for White. You're pulling people out of position and you just leave a big old gap in here, especially because there's only 2 of them. So that's something they'll have to look at. Lucky is saying, in the Champions League, you have to learn how to defend. Yes, you do, Lucky. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And the fans are noisy in Germany. Fans are noisy. That's good. That's good that you want noisy fans. JT says, the big difference is Saka, though. He's much better defensively than Maduacho? Is that a typo, or did you type that on purpose? I can't tell if you're taking the pizzazz out of him, or if it was an accident. If you've been auto-corrected, I didn't know if you were mixing Madueke with Garnacho as an insult, or if it was on purpose. Maduacho. I mean, that's a pretty bad insult, to be fair. Chelsea catching strays and they're not even playing tonight. But yeah, okay, no, so autocorrect just killed it. You did mean to say Madueke. I was like, is he mixing it with Garnacho on purpose just to get at him? Never mind. But yes, so what did you say? So Saka is better at helping defensively than Madueke. Okay, well, that's good then. That's good. That's important. But Saka probably won't play the full 90 minutes, so will he? At some point, Madueke probably will come on. Because surely he's not that long back, isn't he not, JT? It feels like he's only just back. So he might not get the full 90 minutes. So you might end up having to play. No, for sure not. So yeah, it means you're probably going to end up with Madueke on the pitch at some point. Before that, you want to be ahead, is what I would be suggesting. So JT, you reckon 60 minutes? He only played the first 45 minutes in the last match, wasn't he? He only played the first half, and then in the second half he was swapped. Shout out to our Shem, who is here this evening, joining us, cheering on Arsenal, obviously. United Random, on the other hand, is hoping for Atletico to turn up. What I will say, guys, in full disclosure, I am rooting for Atletico tonight because I have decided it's the lesser of two evils if Arsenal win the Premier League, because it can't be City. So if they must win the Premier League, I can't have them win in the Champions League. Therefore, I need Atletico Madrid to beat them. Sorry. I will congratulate you if you win, Luke and JT and any of the other lovely Arsenal fans that come in here. However, I'm not rooting for you tonight. I am rooting for Atletico tonight. I've already decided that I would prefer you to win the league over Manchester City, which was a horrible decision to have to make. Therefore, if I'm going to cheer you on to the Premier League title, which is disgraceful, I'm going to have to cheer on you going out of the Champions League. However, I will be fair. I'll always try and be fair, but I'm not cheering you on tonight. I think you will win. I'm rooting for Atleti, but I think Arsenal will win. I think Arsenal will be better than the first leg. I think Arsenal will have an uptick from their 3-0 win against Fulham. I think it'll have done their confidence a heap of good. I feel like there seems like there's a little bit something. It feels like there's a little bit something that's different about Arteta. As I said, just over recent times, there's a little something. So I think Arsenal will win, but I'm hoping Atleti just surprise me a little bit. And if you lose, we'll have a commiseration party in here. We'll be here to support you guys afterwards. Let me see. Shem is saying Hala Madrid. Unai Emery would be furious. JT has just heaved a massive sigh of relief that I'm not cheering on Arsenal in case the Ludo Voodoo joined in. I mean, that's a great point. You might be better off if I don't want you to win the match. It might suit everybody better. Lucky reckons that Arsenal should let Atletico Madrid have the ball. Let them have the ball. That's the tactic. This game is chess, says Lucky. Let them have the ball. Lure them into a false sense of security, says Lucky. That's what Lucky says. Tire them out and then strike while the iron's hot. Shem says, Arsenal will win, but can't wait for tomorrow, the real Champions League final two teams. Oh, Shem. You're in good form, Shem. You're in flying form. It's almost like your team got out of relegation recently. You've got a new lease of life, Shem. But I think that all that's left to do, guys, is what? JT? The Hoodoo Ludo? All that's left to do, thank you very much, Rob, reminding everybody to please like and subscribe. Get your score predictions in, guys, because it is just tipping 10-2. I need to get myself set up to watch the match. Shem, we did win 2 in a row, says Shem. But JT says, I think it will be like those boxing matches where they will be throwing jabs in the air, testing each other. Yeah. So kind of what Lucky's saying there, a little bit of chess, a little bit of feeling out, a little bit of, sussing each other. Right, JT has given us a score prediction. JT reckons 2-1 in extra time. Okay. I reckon this could be a crazy match. I think this could be goals, because all it takes is one going in, and then I think it goes crazy. There could even be a red card in here somewhere, because Atleti seem well up for it. And Atleti were giving out about the fireworks going off beside them in the hotel last night as well. So what it is, JT, do you know, right, say the 90 minutes and then they give added time. So that's what they put on the board. So say 3 minutes added time, those extra 2 or 3 or 8 minutes or whatever they add on the board, that's added time. Then if you play the extra 30 minutes, that's extra time. And then penalties, which It doesn't really matter. We know what you mean. We know what you mean. I don't mind. But yes, when you play the extra sort of mini match, that's extra time. So Palace reckons extra time as well. There's a lot of people thinking extra time. Overtime is American football, I think, because they can't end in a draw. They can't end in a draw. So they have the money line. And then I think if it's a draw when they hit the money line, you have to go to overtime. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but that might be. Overtime sounds like it might be American sport. Fergie time is what it's called. Palace reckons in extra time 1-0. Okay, so two of you guys reckon it's going extra time. I reckon Arsenal are going to win it in normal time. I reckon Arsenal win it in normal time, but I think it's going to be chaotic. It could be like 3-2 or something. I think there could be crazy goals in here. Crazy goals in here. But guys, I'm going to let you all go. We're going to go and enjoy this match no matter what way it goes. Oh, Palace, don't you worry at all. Don't you worry at all. I know what you mean. I can read most of these things. Don't you worry. Spell check, language barrier, different terminology. Don't you worry. I can read through the whole lot. But I will see you guys back here at 10 o'clock. As soon as I finish this stream, I'm going to set up the stream for later. So if you want to pop in and out to the live chat throughout the match, belt away. And I will see you all at 10 o'clock. Thank you for being here. And please smash a like on the video on your way out of the show.